Alright guys, what is up? Broken Anvil 2024.
Alright, here we go, mother.
You can see how excited I am for my what's about to be a terrible start. Ready? Look at this. Ugh. Garbage. Yeah. So that's me not leaning far enough forward on the bike at all. And the front end just lifted and I almost went for a ride. I think this is my first race ever on the KTM. Maybe? I'm trying to remember. I think this is. It was either this one or it was the Roar Harescramble. But yeah, this is I believe the first race on the KTM. This is many races ago. Yes, I'm super behind on video editing. I know, and I'm sorry, but it's a lot of work. And I could have posted this one a while ago, but I really wanted to do a voiceover on it and kind of talk to you guys throughout it because it's, as you can tell, a bit of a different race. Part of it is on an MX track, and if you follow the channel and you know me, you know that I do not ride on tracks ever. So yeah, you'll see. It doesn't go too well for me. I want to say in the first lap. In this lap, it's going to not go very well for me at all. Once we get out to the track portion. I spend a lot of my time riding in the woods, and I prefer it. I have a lot more fun in the woods. Probably because I'm not good on a track. I should probably spend some time practicing, and I probably enjoy riding on the track as well. But for this race, was not really up to par on the track skills, so you'll see. It's not good. Not good. But we had a lot of fun in the woods portion of it, and I think we ended up pulling third in class, which is not that impressive. I am a C-class rider. I probably will be moving to B next year. This was my first year racing. If I didn't mention that in the last video, the last race video, that we were in South Jersey. And I didn't really know where I'd stand. I guess I'm doing pretty well in C class, so I'm going to be moving to B next year. We'll see how we do there. But for now, you know, we're going to enjoy the C class life with the earlier morning starts and whatnot, which I actually like. So yeah, for this race, as I mentioned, parts of it's on the track, part of it's in the woods, and the woods portion is probably some of the best single track and like woods riding in the series for the Harescrambles, at least. This was one of my absolute favorite tracks, and even though I ended up, spoiler alert, breaking my thumb basically once we got to the track portion on this lap. Once we got to, you know, besides that stuff and the track itself, I really loved this course. It was so much fun. It was so fast and flowy. You're going so much elevation changes. There was a little bit of like slick roots here and there, but for the most part, it was just smooth dirt, and it was very, very nice. But yeah, if you guys are new to the channel, please like the video, drop a subscribe. It really helps. Love making these videos. They're very time consuming though, but you know, I ride pretty much every weekend and a lot during the week as well, so I try to just slap the GoPro on, and you know, that's the whole reason I started OTR, was because honestly I just, off the rip, was always wanting to go for a ride, always wanted to get out there, and I figured why not slap a GoPro on while we're doing it. So here we are. I was like, I'm just gonna start recording everything and we'll make some videos. So here we are. If you guys are new, please like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, and I'll do my best to speed up my video production as time goes on. I'm just super busy with work right now. I do have a full-time job, and you know, pretty much just working, making concrete, and racing dirt bikes. I'm a regular fella, trying to have some fun and share a passion with other like-minded individuals, because I absolutely love this community. I love these people, and I just I love the sport so much. So oh, there was a good mistake there. That's what happens when you fall out of the line. I just wasn't moving around enough. Alright, so I got all that out of the way. Sorry about the rant. Let's get into the riding. I shouldn't say get back to it, because I didn't even really talk about it. As you saw for the start, it was a pretty rough start for me. Probably I was a little intimidated just because we were starting on the track and everything, and I really didn't. I was kind of rolling the jumps and stuff. And, just kind of taking it easy because I was in a bit of a outside my comfort zone. But once we got into the woods here, I started to kind of relax a little bit, and that initial start, I guess anxiety you can call it. It's not really anxiety, but it's kind of like anxiety because you're just kind of focused and you're just kind of honing in on this, the beginning of the race and starting off as good as you can and all that. So if you are watching this video as somebody that has not raced yet, you just like to ride and thinking about racing, you guys are the people, you're the reason I'm making these videos, because I want more people to get involved in the sport because it is so much fun. That was a fun little pass, even though he kind of gave it to me. He gave it to me. I was trying to work for these other ones here, guys, because I was kind of jammed up. These guys were they were running a bit slower of a pace that I would run, so I was really trying to work around them. In the Harescrambles, it's kind of just, do what you can to get around people. There's no yelling. In the Enduros, once I get more of those videos out, you'll see, you do a little bit more like communication and trying to be a little bit more courteous to people as you're passing. Harescramble is a little bit different. It's more like an actual, you're more just trying to steal the position from people, and you're riding a little more aggressively. And so you kind of can do the best of both worlds with the ECEA. You can either just run the Enduros or just run the Harescrambles, or you can enjoy the best of both and run both series and have a little bit of that difference. When you're going to a Harescramble, it's a slightly different mindset. It's a little bit of a shorter race. You're not as concerned about conserving energy. You're more riding as fast and hard as you can, and as aggressive as you can to come out on top. I do remember this portion. I had a nice double pass coming up here that I was pretty proud of. If you're following the channel, you've seen it on the channel before. Hasn't made it to the YouTube yet for the full. There it is. I was really starting to feel like in a groove here and getting comfortable. Usually when I'm a little bit, I'm kind of, I'd say, running at about 60 or 70% the first 3 to 5 minutes of a race. I'm really focused on settling in, not focusing on my breathing and just kind of loosening up. Do little exercises and stuff like that, and stretches before the ride that definitely help to get you more prepared. But there's really nothing to prepare you for going from just sitting to full-on race mode, riding aggressive, trying to make passes. You get into that mode pretty quickly, and then you have to give your body like a chance to adapt, and you get your brain in like this mindset of like, okay, we're going to live in this space for the next however many hours. Like let's be prepared to be in this mindset, in this headspace, and your body follows suit, and you start to kind of get in a groove, and the next thing you know, you're flowing through the woods and having an absolute blast. And we're pretty much at this point in this race where I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling myself. I'm enjoying the bike. The bike feels good. The trail feels good. Making a lot of passes. I think we worked ourselves up to second or third at this point in the race for my class, the 250 Open class, because we're on a 300 here. But yeah. To those of you that are new to riding and are thinking about getting involved in racing, you don't have to come out to these races and run, as fast as you can and really, put yourself at too much risk. You can just come out and ride your own ride, and then over time you'll start to see that you get comfortable with it, you get more used to it, and it becomes something that isn't so much as scary anymore. So I highly recommend it, and that's ultimately the reason I wanted to start this channel. Share my experience doing this, because I'm pretty new at it. I've been riding my entire life. I think I've mentioned this before in some other videos, but pretty much just snowmobiles, four-wheelers, side-by-side, stuff like that. Always had like pit bikes and little bikes hanging around, but never really took bikes seriously and as like a main like toy to go out riding in the woods with. It was always like, let me get like a Can-Am Renegade 800, like a four-wheeler to go out and go like find the deepest mud hole or something like that. That was always what I did. And then I don't know, I just started riding bikes. I got a SSR 125 senior year of college, and started riding that little thing around, and from that point I got a few years after that, I got an Apollo 250, another Chinese bike that was, you know, not the best, but it was enough, and took it trail riding and slowly spiraled from there. Then from there, you know, on the Orion to the GPXs, and the GPXs were phenomenal, top of the line for sure. Like in terms of the China bikes and that stuff, like they are just. Those, I had the 450 and the TSE 300, and they were both just so much fun to ride. And they, I mean, for the price, you can't beat it. They took so much of a beating and just did it with a smile. And then from there to the KTM, and the KTM was like next level for me. And to this day, I mean, I've gotten the chance to ride a lot of different bikes over the last few years, and the KTM is just, it's a special bike. They figured it out. It's dialed in. The 2024 XCW is dialed in. It's a dialed bike, and they've got it figured out. There's some little things that I definitely would change, but we'll get into that in another video. I've already spent way too much time giving you guys like a bio of my life and why I started this channel. But I think this is a good video to do that and kind of get into it, because this is a longer one. It's about 45 minutes, an hour long, or whatever it's going to turn out to be. But you know, it's a good video. If you're a dedicated OTR fan, this is a video for you. You can sit with it, and we can get a little more. We can chat a little more. This is more of a conversation, without you being able to answer, unfortunately. But you can always leave a comment below, and I always answer and reply to people. Like I said, just want to make new friends and meet more people that share the passion for this sport like I do, because it is absolutely phenomenal. Right here, what you're watching, in my opinion, there is absolutely nothing better in the world that exists. When you're on two wheels, flowing in between the trees, flowing in between the woods down this trail, focused on nothing but what's right in front of you, that throttle in your right hand, that clutch in your left, I mean, and don't forget the brakes, of course, but you know what I mean? There's just no other feeling better than this, and I want everybody to know it. I want everybody to feel it, enjoy it, and be able to do it and love it, because it's awesome. So that's enough of that. We're 12 minutes into the video, and I've barely talked about the race itself. Barely talked about my mistakes. None of that stuff, because I've made quite a few already so far. I think I may have pointed out one or two of them, but if you ride, you can see it pretty clearly where I make my mistakes. Majority of it is just either in my turning, not getting forward enough on the bike, and keeping my back straight while doing it. I noticed one of the things I do is and it's really nice when people let you over like that, by the way. But yeah, one of the things I noticed that I do is I don't keep my back straight, and I kind of hunch forward and point my chest down as I'm going into the turns. And as soon as you do that, it's too much weight on the front tire, and it causes you to wash out, especially when you have loose balls in the front like I do, and they're a little worn, so it's a bit soft up there, so you get a little bit of that tire roll. So you need to keep your back straight, chest pointed to the sky, or at least forward, I should say, straight ahead. You don't want your chest pointed down, ever. So yeah, definitely plenty of mistakes. I'm excited for you guys to see the one on the track, because I do end up breaking my thumb in this race, and it was not fun. It still hurts to this day, actually, and this race was months ago now, but boy did it hurt. At this point in the race, I'm kind of still in a groove here. I got a guy behind me. He's revving. I don't know if you can hear, but you can always hear those four-stroke guys back there. There's really nowhere for me to move over. There's nowhere for this guy in front of me to move over. When we get to a spot up here, I kind of try to go around him, but he doesn't move over for me, which is a bit of a bummer, because I could definitely run a faster pace than what he's doing right now. I got a guy behind me that's upset. And yeah, so that's one of those things. He just wanted, I guess, this guy in front of me just wanted me to steal it from him, and I respect that. In a Harescramble, it's kind of how you have to do it. Sometimes you have people that just pull over and let you go, and sometimes you have people that are like, no, man, you're racing, and if you're good enough, you earn that pass. Go around me. And you know, you can't really get mad about that theory or that mindset.
Pass it on the track.
Yeah, see, I was getting pretty frustrated with him. And here we are, guys. We came out to the track. There he goes. I got a little air there. Yeah, look how terribly I took that turn. So far on the outside, just. Problem was, it was so slick, and it was on a downward slope, which is like a terrible combination for dirt bike turns. On a side hill like that, just no good. Another fast guy, fast-ish. Not really. I'm just slower. Yeah, man, I really get just uncomfortable with the jumps. Although this is the first lap, and this is, you know, the first time I'm out here ripping the jumps, and as I get moved through the track, I get a little bit more comfortable and confident, which ultimately becomes my demise, as we see pretty shortly. So I jumped that, and I cleared that little single, or whatever you want to call it, and I'm like, okay, do I hit this? Ooh. Did not expect that to be there. Yeah. So that's my broken thumb, guys. That's what everybody was waiting for. I'm gonna notice it soon. So as you can see, yeah, I'm like moving it. Yeah, my thumb was, I was feeling it. But as you can see, after a crash like that, kind of takes a second to get you. It took me a second to get myself on my feet because I was stunned for sure, and I was processing, making sure the bike was still rolling straight, making sure nothing was too badly injured on myself. Make sure I can keep going. Obviously, after taking inventory, I realized my thumb was pretty messed up, but ultimately decided it was fine enough to keep going. It wasn't enough to stop. Because just about into this point, yeah, I'm just said I hope the bike's good.
Oh yeah. Maybe strained.
I thought it was maybe just a sprain. But we're trying to find our groove again. Takes a second. We're going to be bopping around for a little bit. I think I'm still just mentally processing and mentally and physically processing that crash. It was something that I didn't expect. I did not. I hadn't had really a wreck too bad. I've had some good ones, but nothing like that for the whole season thus far. So that was definitely the one for the books. And I'm kind of just trying to hype myself back up here and get myself back in the groove. End up blowing the. Oh man.
Too fast.
Too fast. Oh yeah. My hydro pack's leaking everywhere too. That's what all that water is dripping from my helmet. I think I bit down too hard and tore it or something.
What the hell?
Yeah. Come with me on my journey to find my groove again. Trying. Almost hit that tree. And I think that's one of my weak points, you know, that I've noticed. After a bit of a crash, I say a bit of a crash, but usually after a crash, I am in my head a little bit for a moment, and I'm causing myself to make more mistakes because of that. And it just, you have to try to remain calm and collected, and just keep your mind clear. You know, if you can keep your mind clear, you can ride smooth. Smooth is fast out here on the track. Even if you think sometimes that you might not be going as fast because you're not wah brakes, and you know you're kind of riding just at a more consistent, smooth pace, you might be surprised at, you know, the difference in the pace from just doing that. You know, being smooth is key. And as soon as you get into your head too much and start to have doubts and get nervous, you're gonna disrupt that flow, and you're gonna throw everything out the window. It's just it will happen, and then you make more mistakes, and then you could end up crashing again. And then after that, it's like you're pretty low spirits at that point. You can still come back from it if you're mentally formidable enough. See, look, I'm just mistake after mistake after mistake now. Gave up 2 places. This is a great example of what not to do after a crash, guys. It's just not the way. I think we could see where I'm at right here. There's the screen. I think I was in 4th at that point. 4th or 5th, it said. Now I'm starting to ride a little bit more aggressive and slightly reckless. Not my worst, but I am starting to get a little agitated, which is just going back to the whole keeping your head clear. That means get the emotions out of there. You know, like, if you start getting mad at yourself, you're just gonna make it worse. And I get to the point where I have to tell myself to just breathe, and and that's how I manage to bring myself back. Like, I'll just start to say, okay, back to the basics, Dylan. Focus on your breathing, focus on looking far ahead, and focus on keeping that throttle consistent. And if I can start to just bring it back to that and focus on that, then I notice that I start to get into a groove again, and then my confidence slowly builds up from there, and then next thing I know, I'm kind of riding at that pace again, and I'm kind of like feeling back to normal. So yeah, focus on keeping your head clear. It's as much a mental game as it is a physical one, no doubt. And if you have the ability to keep your head in the right space, you can make look at that smooth pass that dude just made up there. I forget what he was on. Looked like maybe a CRF 250 or something. I don't know, but yeah. Another mistake here? Yep.
Come on.
I'm getting mad. Embarrassing. Fell right out of the rut. This is in the wrong body position. What's happening now is I've gone and gotten all rattled from this crash, which has made me forget to ride with intent and in using my the proper techniques, and it's made me feel like I needed to like scramble and kind of almost ride. It's like in a less intelligent way, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to, it makes you ride just stupid. It makes you ride just not the right way, and you start to make those mistakes, and it costs you a lot of time in the end. So that's probably the best advice I can give you from this video, that I learned pretty quickly, is if you have any if you make mistakes, or you crash, or you have a big setback during the race, don't let it eat you alive, because it will. Focus on breathing, looking far ahead, keeping your chest forward, elbows bent, making those passes, making those drives. Stay in form in those turns, stay on the throttle. The bike will take care of the rest. Thank you to the gentleman who let me over there. That's always nice. It's fun to earn the passes yourself, but it's also when they're riding at a slower pace, you don't want to cause them to crash, and it's just, you know, it's nicer when, you know, they just move over, you can keep rolling, keep your pace going, catch the next guy. I love this section of this trail. It's just so fun and flowy. I can tell already, just from rewatching this with you guys, I am sitting way too much. Right now I'm standing, but we're going down that hill. Then it's back on the seat. Still sitting. Oh, now we're standing again. Notice when I stand up, I start to go faster. I should really only be sitting to jump into that tank in the turns. This was fun because it was that crazy straight there where you get up a lot of speed, then you dumps you into this like section with those like mud and those pretty nice ruts. And you gotta just try not to think about those ruts. Just look past them and stay on that throttle. It's like I knew. Whenever I feel mud flying, I just do a quick lens wipe. I screwed up. This was the worst. This was not the better line for this hill. Although it worked out for the guy in front of me there. I hesitated there. I should have just got on that gas and went for it. But I get nervous that I'm going to make somebody, you know, cut somebody off and have them go off and hit a tree and get seriously hurt. You know, it's not worth it to me sometimes. Definitely not good for my, you know, for the leaderboards, I guess, in terms of, you know, you got to be competitive and kind of be cutthroat if you want to get to the top, but first year out there, trying to be a courteous C-class rider. He let me over. We got back on there, and we're cruising again. A lot of great downhills. Love it. You're just flying down these hills, right to a 90. Back into this valley where it drops you down, swoops in, and back up again. Oh, well, we cut out of that. I had a lot of footage, guys. It was a long race, and you know, I tried to grab the most interesting stuff for you. And the video still turned out pretty long, but I don't care. I you know, I wanted to share the highlights of the race, and it was such a fun track and had so many. There was definitely some low points, but so many high points. This is a great section here too. Just kind of flowing along the side of this hill. Gets pretty tight, a lot of weaving in and out of the trees. At this point the trail's packed in pretty good though, and there's some nice little berms, so it was a lot of fun. And then you had those little sections where it opened up to some more like wider double track, and you just start flying. Fun uphill here. Just come out of that turn, get on the gas. It's not a crazy uphill, but definitely more of an uphill than the GoPro shows. Well, like I said earlier, this is like a point in the race where like it's pretty bermed out, so you could have a lot of fun just kind of maintaining speed and flowing through the trees and in and out of the turns. It was a good time. So at this point, I kind of found my groove again. Trying to wear off, let the effects of that crash wear off. Oh man, what a stupid mistake! I caught up in the trees, just as I thought we were doing a little better. That is what it is. Is what it is. You ain't rubbing, you ain't racing. Sometimes that means you're rubbing trees. Here pretty slow, if I'm being honest. I'm not happy with my pace through here right now. I am very much sitting down and just being lazy with it, which is no good. That's okay. Hopefully we pick it up soon. Climb back up. Not sure what lap this is, because I've cut the video, obviously, in many places. But we are further along in the race here. I think this one was 4 or 5 laps, maybe 4. About 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours of just riding fast as you can. That is the worst. Do not like when that happens. That dude's actually pretty fast. He just took off. Let's see if we can catch him. See if we catch him or lose him. Those are the 4-stroke guys. Guys out here on these 250s and these 450s, man, they're just ripping. Got me thinking about, maybe thinking about a 4-stroke for the Harescrambles and keeping the 302 smoker for the enduros and the hard enduros. Looks like we're catching them. That guy's like, yep, just keep on going, guys. I'm chilling. Catching my breath. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, if you guys are new and you just want to try out racing, like, you don't have to come out here. And it's not like it's like you're going to just get run over if you need to pull it. You could just pull over in the woods. That's what's great. It's not like you're on a track. You know, I think when people think of racing bikes, dirt bikes, like, they're immediately, like, their mind goes to motocross and, like, supercross, because that's what, has been, mostly popular in the United States, at least, for the longest time. And, it's understandably so. It's really fun to watch, and, everything's right in front of you. The track's right there. Everybody can get up in the stadium and watch the whole race right there in front of you. These guys jumping 30, 40, 50, 60-foot gaps. It's exciting to watch. But then, it makes people think about when they're, racing dirt bikes, they tend to forget that there's this side of it as well, which I think is a little more friendly to newer people that want to experience racing bikes and being in that atmosphere without having to go on, big scary motocross or supercross track. You can just go out and ride in the woods and enjoy some single track. And if you got people that want to, that need to pass you, pull over, let them pass. If you get tired, pull over and take a break, and then continue your ride. It's all about the fun. That's really what it is. Don't let the fear keep you away from this much fun, because it is so much fun. My goodness. This is the second time this gentleman has caused me to come to a complete stop, which is just a no-no. Big no-no. We don't like this. He's moving though. He's not slow. He's probably faster than me. Although I do keep catching him, and can't tell if it's because he keeps catching up to somebody that slows him down, or if I'm just catching him. I think it's the former. This section here was so hard to try to find a spot to pass, and if the person that was in front of you didn't want to move, well, guess what? You were not going around him. unless you were, I don't know, figured out a way to become, like, I don't know, you could become transparent and go through trees, because there was a tree everywhere. It was really fun. It was really fun and flowy in here. And it dumps you out onto that wretched track. I promise I'll put in some time and I'll try to get good. Oh, I cut the track out that lap. This was really nothing to see, guys. Really nothing to see. Just me rolling jumps and turning terribly and just not riding efficiently. You know, and I'm not going to blame my equipment, but it definitely felt, I don't know, I felt like a little less confident to be railing jumps and turns on that track, because it really didn't have much berms on some of those turns. On my Moose balls, my super soft tire setup, my front and rear basically flat, which was not, you know, not ideal for these settings. I mean, we do a lot of, in our free time riding, when we go to get our chances to go to Roush and do stuff like that, we spend a lot of time billy goating and rocks and stuff like that. So, you know, I just like to keep the setup soft and plush, and usually soft compound tires. In the front, pretty much 99% of the time running the Bridgestone M59, baby. That is the only front tire you'll ever need, in my opinion. What a fun section. You can kind of like really bounce in and out of off those like light turns and just flow through the trees. It feels so good. Watching this makes me want to go out and ride right now. Just watch the bike. This was a fun hill climb too. Doesn't look like it on the camera though. Never does, but it was fun. Because you just swoop right from that straight, and it's a sharp, like 90-degree left, and you're just straight up, pretty much. Got hit with a bunch of rocks right there. I remember feeling that. And that little, I think that was a 125, just love the sound of them little smokers, man. Woo! We're staying with this dude. You know, I think at that point that was my goal. Oh no, this is a different guy. Ha! I thought it was the 4-stroke guy. That's a 2-stroke. I don't know who that is actually. This section of the track was really interesting because you were having to bob and weave in between all these trees, but all the roots were showing in between them, so you were kind of wanting to ride a little higher up and like hit the root on the base of the tree and kind of bounce from it and almost like get your bike to be riding against the tree, if that makes any sense. I know it doesn't. It doesn't even make sense in my head as I'm saying it, but I know what I'm trying to say, okay? I know what I'm trying to say. It's like a technique that once you start doing it, or if you do it already, you know what I'm talking about. And those sections are always fun because you got to kind of plan your route a little bit, and that's why it's, again, super important to look far ahead. And as we get closer to the end of this video, if I can leave you guys with anything to the newer guys that are wanting to do this, main things you got to think about and focus on is that proper technique. I'll refer you to the Moto Academy. That dude is pretty much he's the guy that you want to watch to learn about body position. Go over there on his Instagram, check that out. I'm not connected with him in any way. He just makes good videos and they're very helpful. And you want to make sure you maintain those proper body positions. You know, you just keep your back straight, elbows bent, chest forward, whether you're standing or sitting. If you're going to be, you know, sitting going into a turn, you want to be kind of sitting right up on that tank with your back straight, chest up towards the sky, or pointing straight ahead. Keep those elbows bent, keep that prim and proper form. You know, when you're in that form, it almost feels silly, but I promise you, it's when you start to, the more you start to get yourself to force yourself into that form as you're riding, you'll start to notice like, oh wow, like the bike handles better and I can like move it better and I don't feel as attached to the bike. And I think that's the main reason why that technique and why running the right technique is so important. You want to be almost detached from the bike and let the bike do what it's got to do, because most of the time it's going to handle it for you, and you want to let it do that without feeling everything it's doing. And because once you're doing that, you're just being tossed around and holding on for dear life. That's when your arms get straightened out and you just end up whiskeying off the trail and into a tree, and it just gets all kinds of hairy from there. So you just really want to focus on that technique, and once you get that down, it's a matter of maintaining your breathing, looking far ahead, keeping your mind clear, and keeping your eyes on the prize. It's really simple, and I think that's the best part about it and why I'm so addicted to it. It's forces you to just clear your mind and be as present as you can, because it matters. You're going 40, 50 miles an hour at times through the woods in between these trees, and you need to be there. You need to be 100% there, focused, meditating on what you're... Oh my God. Ugh, Dylan, shut up. Literally, as I'm talking about, you have to be focused. I make a stupid mistake like that. Ugh, that is what it is. It is what it is. We're going to keep running, baby. But yeah, it's hard to do, and the more you do it, the better you'll get. But I'm telling you, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And if you are somebody that I have met at the races watching this video and we've chatted, shout out to you. I love you all. You guys are all just amazing, and I love being, there's no place I'd rather be on the weekends than be at an ECEA event. And then in the wintertime, when season's over and it's time to take a break, the OTR crew is going to be at Roush. Anybody's welcome to come out and ride with us. DM me, comment on the video, whatever you guys want to do, come out and ride with us. We love to go out and spend a lot of time practicing doing different things, each day. Sometimes we might go out and focus on that high-speed maneuvering through the tight trees and tight woods, and some days we'll spend hours and hours and hours at one hill, and some days we'll spend hours and hours and hours on the side of a cliff, of a mountain, billy-goating on the rocks, screaming at ourselves and just loving life. We're always doing something and riding. So feel free to hit us up. Getting towards the end of this really, really awesome race. Big sad. Just look at this course. I mean, the dirt was perfect. There was no dust. It was just absolutely perfect. Why did I take this line again? Here I go, taking this stupid line again with the roots. Yeah, I'm saying it right here. I could hear myself saying it. I don't know why I took that line again. And that's a prime example of me not looking far ahead and planning and being precise. The calmer you can keep yourself, the better decisions you're going to make. And the better results you're going to get. Looks like a broken down Honda, or that fellow was just tired. One of the two. I've been there. I remember my first race ever. First race ever. Oh, that was the dude on the 4-stroke. He must have had a wreck. He was moving. Looks like KTM 250. My first race, it was an enduro, so it was a little longer of a race, maybe 3 hours. About hour and 40 minutes, 2 hours into that race, I was on the side of the trail. I'll never forget that. It was Foggy Mountain. It was a Delaware Valley Trail Riders event. Really awesome event. Really great race. and it was the first year, and I hadn't been a part of that club yet, so that was my first race I ever tried, first enduro, and woo! Yeah, I was on the side of the trail, holding my legs because they were cramping so bad. People were stopping and like, "Are you okay?" Like, because they thought I might have wrecked or crashed or something. My bike's laying down, and I'm just sitting on the side of the trail, just holding my leg, like and I'm like, "Nope, just cramping," and then they'd all be like, "Ha, been there," and then they just skirt off. So definitely, if I can save you from that, I recommend be as hydrated as possible. Make sure you have a lot of salt in your system, or a good amount, the proper amount of salt, I should say. Because believe it or not, when you start cramping, it's a lack of salt, not water, in your body. So make sure you have all the proper minerals. Just make sure you got all the minerals before your first race, and I promise you will do better than I. We're getting creative here, starting to cut through the trees, find some slightly better lines. Shout out to whoever this is. They are working that little bike. Well, 125. By the way, at this point in the race, I have fully come to the fact that I'm riding a KTM 300 XCW and falling in love with it. This was my first race ever with this bike, and I was really loving it. Very disappointed that I crashed it so bad. Luckily, there really wasn't any damage, but I was just astonished at the performance of this thing. The throttle body injection is so smooth and predictable, and it kind of takes the downside of the two-stroke out of the two-stroke that's attached to this motorcycle. Because it's just very consistent, and then, very powerful when you really need to crack on it. The suspension was good. I'd been riding linkage bikes I had never had a PDS, and this was my first race on one. I had taken her out for a couple rides at Roush, so I had gotten myself acclimated with the setup, but hadn't raced with it yet. And at this point in the race, I'm like really feeling this bike. I think we had worked our way up to third, and we're just trying to comfortably hold that position for my class. Yeah, I am revving at this fella to move over for me. And we're still behind him because we came up to that section, man. That section you can't make passes in. Back on the track. Back on the track. I believe last lap on the track. Went for the outside line here. Oh, there was a dude on a 4-stroke in the KTM 250. We've been together this whole race. Pretty sure he was second in my class, maybe? Or maybe he was the 250 class. I think at this point he had a wreck. I had obviously had a wreck, and we were both just like, all right, let's just hang together and ride this out. Unplanned. just kind of started happening. And I almost took him out. Look at that. I slid right into him. Got a little jump there, nothing too crazy. Just got a little bit of air. That one I was like, nope, I'm not jumping it. I don't even know. It's just watching myself back on this track is making me very upset with myself and making me realize how much I really need to go and practice on a track. My bike's just not set up for it. Suspension, tires, I got no tubes. It's just not set up for it. But here we go. We're back in the woods in the home turf, and we are cranking. Got nervous for a second there. Thought I was gonna get stuck behind him. That's always the worst when you're buzzing with somebody, like me and this fella here, and you're kind of together buzzing through the woods, and you come up to somebody, and the person in front of you is able to make that pass, but then you get cut off. Oh, goodness me, that is the worst feeling. You're like, no, I'm gonna lose him now. You're just like, no, come back. It's terrible. Terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And here's where we get our position back. Hesitated. Just gotta keep it moving. Keep it moving. Oh yeah, we mean business. Just me and this beautiful KTM floating through the forest. Absolutely just astounded at the performance. Oh, my revs were just pitiful. I should have just revved it way higher. I started doing the yell. That's the other thing. Once you start, if you are new and you decide to start racing, you have to figure out how you're gonna let people know you're behind them. There's a couple ways you can do it. Some people do the old-fashioned engine rev. Some people do a yell. There's different variations of that. I've stumbled onto yee! That's my favorite one at this point. Gets the point across. It's high pitched enough to be noticeable, and it's fun. And then the third option is you get a clown horn or something, one of those bike horns, or you know, one of them Johns. Throw one of those on your bars and if you want to be really funny. I might do that. Comment below if I should do that actually. And start every time I'm behind somebody in a race, just start giving them the clown horn. I'm not being aggressive enough to pass this person in front of me here. Until now. There we go. That's my passing spot. It's a good spot. Good spot.
Got a little tight there, went into the bushes for that one. Got a little thrown by the ruts there. A little slick in that section. Oops, sorry about that, whoever that was. So we bumped elbows there. Bumping bows. Tell me I took the left line. There you go. Finally. I avoided that line that I hate so. Started to think ahead. And almost lost it there. Where was I, guys? Too far back on the bike. Too far back on them wet routes. Arms were straight. My freaking chest was pointed straight down. Just no good. Oh, here goes all the slobber coming out of my hydro pack. That's attractive. When in doubt, lug it out. Yeah, nice little buzz through here, a little flow through here. Yeah, okay. Dropping down into this little valley, swooping up and out here. Fun hill. At this point in the race, you know, you start to kind of get some more room to breathe. You know, everybody spreads out a bit more, and you kind of find yourself riding for the most part with yourself. Just out there pushing yourself, trying to find that groove and stay in your lines and ride as fast as you can. And every now and then you come across a straggler like this fella here, make a pass, keep it moving. And you're by yourself again. Just you, the bike, and the trail. It don't get no better than that. That could have been so much worse. That was a close call. I think I just nicked the tip of his fender with my knee. Which luckily I had my knee protectors on, my knee pads. And it was just a fender, so it had a little bit of give. It wasn't too bad. And now we're just trying to hold it together, go for that final push. I know I'm on my last lap, and I know that I just need to hold it. I'm aware that I'm in third from the screen when I last went through, and I think at this point I'm happy with that, given the many mistakes throughout the race, including the decent crash on the track in the first lap. That one, that set me back big time. I let it affect me way more than I should have. But we live and learn. That's what it's all about, people. Live and learn. I promise I won't make future ones this long. I just wanted this one. I just left this one a little longer because it's the first race ever with the KTM. And also, I wanted to spend a little more time doing more of an introduction for OTR a little bit. Even though I've had, the channel's been out for a couple years or a year and a half, and and I've made many videos. I haven't done too many where I really actually talk to you guys and introduce myself, introduce the channel. So this one's just going to be a little longer so we can chat a little more. You can get to know me. And I promise all the race videos coming in the future, I will cut it so that it's really just the highlights, and they will not be too long. I'd really like to not try to make them longer than, half hour, 40 minutes. Not looking far enough ahead, Dylan. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Whenever I make those mistakes where I almost blow a turn, it's always because I just wasn't looking far enough ahead. It's hard. You kind of instinctually want to look right in front of you and make sure the path is clear for you because you're on a dirt bike. But you have to get yourself past that habit and focus and force yourself to focus on looking far ahead. It's way easier for your brain to process. But it looks like we are coming to the end of this video. If you stayed with me this long, please like and subscribe. I appreciate it so much. There is plenty more videos to come. I ride every weekend and a lot during the week, and I will do my best to crank out some more videos, hopefully some shorter ones. But anyways, thank you again so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, 2 down, baby.